Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Shade, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan, bringing you the preview of the top of the table clash between Tottenham and Liverpool. I'm excited with the with for this one today with these guests. I'm obviously joined by my main man Matty Hayes from Matty Hayes Tottenham Blogs, Mo from the Full Time Podcast. He's a Liverpool fan, and Jamie LFC, another Liverpool fan. How are you keeping, guys?
I'm doing brilliant, yeah. Obviously disappointed with what happened yesterday and very poor result, but what can we do? Horrible performance. I think, considering every other top 6 team dropped points, I'm not too bothered, but yeah, just can't do anything about it.
Yeah. No, look, it was disappointing all around, I think, for everyone this weekend. How are you keeping, Jamie?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Obviously, the same as Mo. Disappointed with the result on the weekend, but we've got Wednesday to look forward to, which I'm nervous for. But we'll see on Wednesday how that goes.
Yeah. And how are you keeping, Matty?
Yeah, I'm all good. Obviously disappointed with the result for us yesterday as well, but I think it was made a bit easier by, as Mo mentioned, all the other teams dropping points. And look, at the end of the match, they were top of the league again. So it would be a bit weird to be disappointed, but not too many complaints from this side.
Yeah, look, being disappointed for me just shows how far we've come, really, and the expectations of our fan base now. But also, if you're liking the content that I'm providing you, make sure you like the videos and subscribe to the channel. We're making big moves here. We're up 3 weeks, and I'm up to 383 subscribers. So I want to push that to 500 for Christmas. So the Harris Army out there, I know you do your job and help me. So look, we'll get into the match. First of all, it kicks off at 8 p.m. on Wednesday the 16th. You can watch the match on Amazon Prime, and the game is at Anfield. It's top of the table. It's first v second. One goal separating the two teams. The best attack versus the best defence, and both teams top their European group stages as well. And just a few stats for you. Basically, Liverpool have lost one of the last 15 games in the Premier League, which was the 4-1 humbling we gave them at Wembley when we ran. What's that plank's name? The centre back, Lovren. We ran him all over the place. And then Liverpool have won. Liverpool have won the last 4 against us by 1 goal. Tottenham won one of the last 26 away games at Anfield in the Premier League. That win came under Harry Redknapp. But look, Liverpool have dropped 11 points this season already compared to just 15 last season. So look, the stats don't bode well, but with Jose in charge now, and I'm confident. I'm really confident going into this game. So look, we'll talk a bit about team news. So we'll start with Tottenham because obviously we have a lot less to talk about here. So we've pretty much a fully fit squad. The only one that we're not sure on is Eric Lamela. Look, Matty, it's what we see time and time again with this guy. Do you think we'll see him back for the Liverpool game? And if so, I'd love to see him start if he is fit.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see him back, unfortunately. You know, it's always the same situation with him. It's these continuous niggling injuries that he always gets, and it seems to be a really innocuous thing at first, and then he's out for a month, and all of a sudden he's out for 2 months, 3 months, and it's happened before. And he missed a year of football back in 2016-17, and I'd be very surprised if we see him again this calendar year, because I think there were rumours that it would be January before we saw him back out in the pitch again. But even if he is fit, if he is fit for this one, I don't think he'll start because he'll be lacking that match fitness, and we're going to have to be on it from the very beginning against a Liverpool team who, of course, will be gunning for the 3 points. So I can't expect him to be fit, but even if he is, I think it will be another one of our players playing out there on the right.
Yeah, 100%. Probably end up being Stevie B. Mo, do you want to tell us a little bit about Liverpool team news?
This is going to be a long time.
I'm sure you have a couple of A4 pages there about it.
Well, all right. So Alisson came back against Fulham, which is obviously a big injury boost. Trent is back. Well, the biggest concern probably would be Joel Matip, because he went over half time against Fulham with apparent back spasm, but there's a 50% chance that he's back with Spurs, and he's probably our most important centre back right now. Well, he's probably our only centre back, but what can we do about that? Naby Keita, Shaqiri, James Milner will probably miss this game, and then No,
And obviously you have Virgil van Dijk out as well. Jota is out for a couple of months now.
And now Thiago is going to be 2 to 3 weeks or something like that, which is all our summer signings have gone injured for. Yeah, just disappointing.
So yeah, you've a pretty depleted squad then, realistically.
Yeah.
So look, you have a lot of first team players out there. So look, it's not the same Liverpool that we faced last year. But the only thing I will say is you still have the knack of getting results. Every player that steps in, they do tend to just get it over the line. So look, we'll move into basically how we think we'll approach the game. I'll start with Matty. How do you think Spurs are going to approach this game?
Look, I think everyone knows how Spurs are going to approach this game. It's going to be the low block, camping behind the ball. One thing that we may see kind of a bit more than what we have seen in recent weeks is Tottenham going out there for a really, really quick start. Because, as Mo mentioned, Matip is probably Liverpool's most important centre-back at the moment, with Gomez and Van Dijk out for a bit more long-term. But from Liverpool point of view, whether Matip plays or not, there's going to be something concerning there. Because if he plays, he's probably not going to be fully fit, which is, of course, a concern. And then if he doesn't play, it could be Fabinho and Phillips playing back there, who, of course, aren't the strongest centre-back pairing. So I think Tottenham will go out and look for a fast start. If you're looking at our games, I think the best way to judge this is the games played against City, Chelsea and Arsenal, and our expected goal maps in those games. We started fast, and towards the end of the first half, the second half, things petered out. A bit different against City because we did, of course, score in the second half, but I think we'd be looking for a quick, fast start. The likes of Son trying to catch them on the break. Of course, Harry Kane dropping deep with his passes. I think Bergwijn out on the right-hand side could cause a lot of problems with the left-back. I assume it's going to be Andy Robertson pushing on really advanced. He can try and exploit that space in behind him. So I think a bit different early on in the game. I think we will go for that fast start, but for the remaining maybe 70, 80 minutes, I think we will be camped behind the ball and just trying to pick Liverpool off on the break if we can. Yeah,
for me, look, I don't want to let these settle at Anfield. I really don't. I want to get at them from the start. I want to settle them straight away. And look, Mo, I'll be honest with you, it's a club that I really don't like purely because the amount of fans around me over here in Ireland, and they just wind me up all the time, we constantly at each other, sending each other texts and stuff. So look, it is a game I really want to win, probably more than what the Arsenal game, to be honest, at this rate, with the amount of Liverpool fans over here. And look, I honestly think whoever starts the centre back, Kane should be more than good enough to basically give them the runaround. And if you have Robertson and Alexander-Arnold bombing forward, you can also get Son or Bergwijn or whoever plays on the right in behind. So there will be spaces there to attack. But like you said, I do agree. I think if we get a goal, we will sit back and try and grind it out. And but look, I wouldn't be too confident either. Liverpool seem to be able to just get do seem to be able to score goals. They're the strongest attacking team in the league, so there is goals in the squad. So for me, it'd be a case of I think we will have to score 2 on Wednesday night. Mo, how do you think Liverpool are going to approach this game? How do you think they'll set up?
I mean, obviously the 4-3-3 system that we usually go for. Obviously, with fans coming into Anfield, I'm hoping that we can just blow you away at the start. But like you said, even Spurs are going to be looking for a quick start, just like last time out at Anfield, where you got that lucky goal, and then we tried to break you down, but it wasn't easy. So I'm not too sure, but I'm hoping Klopp plays smartly and then he doesn't give Spurs too much chances. But
yeah,
it's a very tough one, this, because I'm not too sure. But
do you think that maybe do you think Klopp should keep it tight for maybe the first 20 minutes and then go at Tottenham, or do you think he will attack us from the very beginning?
Well, considering the fans coming into Anfield, I think he'll attack you from the beginning and look for a quick goal or something lucky. But you never know with Klopp. He could change the system for this game because of how important this game is and how significant it is for the table. But in terms of the lineup, I'm hoping that because Spurs' defense have been really, really solid this year. Obviously,
yeah, we've only conceded 9 goals in the Premier League so far. So
I don't think that, as people try to do the connotations of spamming crosses, I don't think that's going to work with Spurs' very tall defense in Eric Dyer and probably Alderweireld. So
yeah,
I'm not too sure, but I'm hoping we can, with Curtis Jones, who's just came in and looked brilliantly. I hope he can like pick up some passes to the front three, something like that. And then we basically we need to be creative as much as we can, because you've seen how good this Spurs have defended this year.
Yeah. Look, for me, I actually think it'd be naive of Klopp to come straight at us from the very beginning, knowing that we are going to start fast and we are going to look to exploit them in behind. I honestly think you will see a very tactical match on Wednesday. What do you think, Matt? Like, Klopp's not a naive manager; he's a very shrewd manager.
He is, but he's also a very principle-based manager, and I personally do kind of find it kind of hard to expect him to adapt to suit Tottenham's game, because at the end of the day, they're the reigning English champions. They're the team who are going out to defend this title. Of course, not too long ago they won a Champions League, and as you mentioned earlier on, in the most recent history, they have had the better of this fixture. So I think Klopp is going to want to play his own game and try and beat Spurs at his own game, and believe in his players, even though it's a very weakened squad. I think he might believe in his players that they can go out and beat us playing free-flowing attacking football. Now, of course, Guardiola tried that with City. It didn't work. Arteta tried it with Arsenal. It didn't work. Chelsea, however, even though they were the home team in that game, as Liverpool are, they played a much more balanced game, and still they went out to win the game, but they made sure they were really secure at the back, and they managed to keep Tottenham at bay, which hasn't happened too often this season. I think it's the first time since the opening game against Everton that we failed to score. So it has kind of been proven that if you do play a bit more defensive, Tottenham do find it harder to break you down. It's just the way we are, unfortunately, at the moment. Even the smaller teams like Burnley and West Brom took late goals against them for us to win. So I think if Klopp does make a compact defence, I think it will be very difficult for us to win. But I just can't imagine him doing that, because at the end of the day, they're Liverpool. They're a bigger club than us, we have to say. At the moment, are they a better team? That remains to be seen, but they're going to want to come out and win this at their own game. They're not going to be playing for a draw by any stretch of the imagination. I think Tottenham will be going out for a draw more so. So I do think Klopp will come out and attack us, and it may be to his own detriment.
Yeah, with our record at Anfield over the years, we'd be singing and dancing coming out there with a pint. We'd be absolutely delighted. For me, I think some Liverpool fans probably would be happy with a draw, considering a lot of the players they have out injured. But I look, for me, it's one Liverpool need to win, to be honest with you. They're starting to drop a lot of pace this season. Spurs are a lot better this season. And look, like I said, it's the best defence against the best attack. So it is going to make for a very good game, a very good watch. Now, just moving into the weaknesses, basically, on both teams where I think we can exploit. Mo, you said Curtis Jones is probably more than likely going to start in the midfield, do you think?
Yeah, probably, definitely. But pretty sure. For
me, he'd be no match for Sissoko, Højbjerg, and Ndombele in there. Honestly, I think they're going to eat him alive. So for me, I think we would have one up in the midfield battle. But then that also depends on whether Fabinho will start in midfield or whether he'll play at centre back. That'll have a big bearing on it.
I'm pretty sure. I hope Fabinho's going to be the confirmed centre back for that game. Like, you can't drop him after, because he's been amazing lately, and I don't think.
So if he is starting centre back, basically for me, one of the key battles and one of the weaknesses that we could exploit is definitely winning that midfield battle as a platform for our game to go forward. As well, like I already said, with Robertson and Alexander-Arnold bombing forward, Son and Bergwijn will also be key. Putting the balls in behind with that space, and then Harry Kane basically catching up with play, because we do know he likes to drop deep. So basically, Harry Kane catching up with play, getting into the box and finishing off the moves. And for me, look, Firmino is one that we have to watch. Look, he's not the best goal scorers, but he does drop deep. He's very hard to pick up. He offers a lot to this Liverpool team, which means the likes of Mane and Salah can bomb in behind. So Sergio Reguilon and Serge Aurier are going to be very important for us. That's another key battle to be looking out for. What do you think, May? I can't hear you, mate.
So can you hear me now?
Yeah.
My adapter here is messing up. It is definitely going to be one of the key battles. Our fullbacks have been so important to us this season. Sergio Aurier has had a fantastic season. Of course, Reguilon did as well. I think it'll be a tough one for Reguilon to bounce back, because I thought he was really poor against Crystal Palace yesterday. I know he lost possession 19 times in that game, and defensively he wasn't at his best either. So it's going to be tough for him to bounce back from that one. But it's going to be a real concern, because in those last couple of games, against Man City and Arsenal especially, we kind of forced the ball out wide and tried to keep him at bay out there. But Liverpool do have the two best fullbacks in the league in terms of getting the ball into the box in Trent and Robertson, and they have someone in Firmino who in the past has been able to to get on the end of those crosses against Spurs, especially. So it will be a concern for us. I know then as well, Firmino will be dropping deep, and there'll be the runs from out to in from Mane and Salah, which could be another really difficult thing for us to contend with. And that, I think, is where Curtis Jones could find space in this game, because when you have these fullbacks bombing on and the wingers making these awkward runs, or kind of two wider centre midfielders, which will probably be Sissoko and Ndombele, we'll have to drop back into those areas to try and keep out those forward runs. And then Curtis Jones could pick up those pockets of space in the middle of the park. And look, I know for Spurs fans, Curtis Jones is just a name of a young player, but I watched him against Fulham yesterday. He is, yeah. I watched him against Fulham yesterday, and he was without a doubt Liverpool's best player in the park. And he started something I haven't seen from him before, is he's picking the ball up from deep a few times and really running at Fulham, who I know are a very different opponent than Spurs. But no, I do think the midfield will be very important to us, and I'd be worried if Curtis Jones did manage to pick up those spaces.
I'd be very worried. Look, to be honest with you, I don't think Højbjerg's going to give him them spaces. The man is the general. He's a destroyer in there. He's been one of the signings of the seasons for me. Mo, where do you think are the weaknesses in the Tottenham team that you could probably get at and try and win this game? And what key battles do you think we should be looking out for?
Sadio Mane and Sergio Aurier is probably the one I'd look out for the most, because Mane usually comes alive in big games, although his recent form has been a bit shocking, to say the least, but he usually comes alive in big games, which I'm not too worried about it, but I think he can get behind Aurier, and just like last season at Anfield, because I think Mane played really well, obviously earned the penalty, but because our front three hasn't been, obviously we've been the highest scoring team, but recently we haven't looked too good, but what can we do? And then
look, Aurier's a changed player this year. He's very good. I'd be confident enough that he could probably deal with Mane. Look, he switched on. We brought in Ledley King and Jose Mourinho have worked tirelessly with this guy, and he's a complete different defender this year. He doesn't have the mistakes that he has had in him in the past. But for me, look, lads, being honest, I can only see a Tottenham win here Wednesday, honestly. It's the most confident I've been going into a game against Liverpool, to be honest with you. And I honestly do think we're going to start fast. We're going to get an early goal or two, and we're just going to show it up for about 70, 80 minutes, sit back and soak it up. Because to be honest with you, a lot of Liverpool's games depends on spacing behind. And we know with Jose Mourinho team and what we've seen lately, it's going to be a low block, and there's not going to be any spaces in behind. And for me, if you start whipping balls into the box, Dyer and Alderweireld are going to win them and clear them all day. So for me, look, I'm going to go with a Spurs win. I'm going to go with I'm actually going to go with 3-0. I'm going to be confident this week.
Okay.
I know it's a big call. But look, I honestly think we're going to invite Liverpool onto us, and we're going to be devastating on the counter. I think, like I said, we'll get an early goal or two, and then we'll definitely kill the game off in the second half, and Liverpool have to go for it. Matty, I'll get your score prediction off you.
Well, first of all, I say you might want to throw a couple of quid on that 3-0, because if it comes through and you didn't, you'll be kicking yourself. But look, I can also see Tottenham winning this game. I really can. It's just kind of everything seems to be falling in Tottenham's favour. You know, just the way the teams have gone this season. Of course, the injuries for Liverpool, us hitting our form, doing better against the big teams. We are, I think, in the mind of most people, would still be the underdogs going into this game, which again, it's just a thing that falls into Tottenham's hands. It suits Jose Mourinho as well. So I'm not going to go 3-0. I do think we can keep a clean sheet, though, because Diogo Jota has definitely been Liverpool's main threat this season on the front foot. And of course, he's out now for potentially 2 months. But if I had to pick between one of Mane and Jota playing for Liverpool, I'd pick Mane, which seems strange given the form of recent seasons. But Jota has been exceptional, especially at Anfield. You know, if I'm not mistaken, he became one of the first ever Liverpool signings to actually score in his first 4 games at Anfield. So he really comes alive there. And as Mo was mentioning again, with fans coming into the ground, it's just another boost. But I do think Tottenham will have enough for this one. And I'm going to go with a 1-0 victory. I think it will be an early goal again with, us kind of sitting behind the ball then. Of course, I prefer 3-0. I think that would be a fun match, but I'm going to go 1-0 Spurs for this one.
Yeah, no, look, people may call me crazy, but the only reason why I'm going for the big scoreline is because I really do think, if we score early, which I think we will, Liverpool have to come on to us and the spaces are going to be there and behind. So, but look, Mo, what do you think the score prediction will be?
Obviously, I have to back my team at Anfield. I'm not going to expect any team to come to us at Anfield and get a win. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 win. I'd say we're going to get a lucky goal at the start, maybe a penalty or something. But like, I don't think. I don't see Klopp sitting back even if we get a goal. But I'm confident going into this game. In a way, but not because I know Spurs can obviously they're devastating on the counter attack. Like I saw that against Arsenal, but we're not Arsenal, so I'm not gonna. And like you mentioned, Dyer and Toby gonna heading all the crosses out. Like Trent's crosses are just whole different level to Bellerin and Tierney. So I don't know. Yeah, I'd go for 2-1 win. I think, but I think Spurs will take the lead, and then
Liverpool will kick in where they start getting penalties for nothing and free kicks just because it's in Anfield, and you know what I mean, all stuff like that. Look, they're probably
that decision on Sunday to not give Fulham a penalty for that challenge by Fabinho. Can I just say it was absolutely shocking. I don't think any Liverpool fan can actually confidently defend that.
No, I've seen them defend them. I've seen them calling people who've come out and said that's a penalty, calling them clowns and everything. But this is the fan base, Matty. This is what you deal with these guys. This is why I really want to beat them on Wednesday. Honestly, I'm sick of them. There's so many Liverpool fans around me. This is the one I want to win. If we lose Wednesday, I go into hiding for a few weeks, honestly, because I won't be able to take it any longer. I'm sick of them. But look, it'll be the same old Liverpool. They probably will get a few dodgy decisions, and they tend to get them all the time. You know what I mean? Like even look, the penalty they got against Fulham, okay, fair enough, was a penalty, but that one where Fabinho kicked the Fulham standing foot, like, do you know what I mean? They looked at it that long. They were trying to find a reason not to give the penalty. That's what that was. It was a stonewall penalty. Like they usually say, they're trying to find a reason to give the penalty, but they were trying to find a reason not to give the penalty purely because everyone hates Tottenham and they can't have us going into Anfield with a lead to hold on to in the league. Because it just wouldn't be exciting for Sky Sports and their pundits. You know, they're probably going to have 2 or 3 Liverpool lads on there, Jamie Carragher, Souness, you know what I mean, all anti-Spurs lads. So it's all geared up against.
They have Jamie Redknapp, who's apparently a Spurs pundit.
Huh?
They'll have Jamie Redknapp, who's apparently a Spurs pundit, but we all know he prefers Liverpool after he sacked Harry.
He does. He definitely does.
Yeah, he's just bitter because we sacked his dad. But in my eyes, look, Harry was a great manager, but he deserved it. He wanted the England job. That was clear. Yeah. That was clear as day. So look, he's just salty over that. But look, no doubt you see him so happy to be at Anfield, touching that stupid little sign, walking out, and everything else. So look, lads, there you have it. There's our preview. Thanks very much to Matt Hayes and Mo from the Full Time Podcast, giving up their time to bring you some insight into the game. And so thanks very much, lads.
Yep.
Thanks for having me, David. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
No problem at all. So look, get your jerseys on, get your colours out. Roll on Wednesday. We head up to Liverpool. We'll beat the Scousers. We'll get out of there. In Jose we trust. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
I'm not nothing to say. Nothing to say.